Hello, Wonderhussy here, just off-roading around the beautiful desert on a gorgeous, sunny January day, exploring one of my favorite parts of the Mojave Desert, the area around Barstow. Who'd have ever thought that an unassuming patch of scrub and creosote bushes could hold so many interesting wonders like this cool old stone cabin. This was built just as cozy as can be. You would be snug as a bug in a rug through any kind of winter weather living in a house like this. Okay, maybe you'd want some insulation, but you'd be pretty cozy. We're kind of in this valley surrounded by low hills. It's pretty flat land in these parts, but well, you can see there's some topography, but we're in this sort of dip in this valley. So you'd be protected from the wind. You'd be protected from the elements to some extent. And well, I'm guessing at one time this was probably a really nice little homestead. So before we go inside, let's case the perimeter. Looks like at one time whoever lived here probably did have a pretty cool front, like a front patio and little steps even going down. So maybe he had some, I was gonna say landscaping, but it's desert out here. So maybe a few cactus. I mean, he took the time to lay this patio out of, well, I guess flagstone or, well, cement and rocks. And well, the only thing it says as to who built it is here in front. It says built by Wells in 1932. How about that? 1932. I dare say there might even be some people watching this channel who were alive in 1932. I know I bought a house once in Vegas that was built in 1933. So it just blows my mind that the house that I lived in Las Vegas was built about the same time as this humble stone dwelling. Ugh, unfortunately, there's an unspeakable amount of litter, shotgun shells, and old carpet, all kinds of crap strewn about outside, which is a shame because as I noticed when I first drove up here, there's a big old sign spray painted on the side that says, respect it. And if that doesn't make it clear as day, I don't know what would. Although I suppose the concept of respect means different things to different people. So some people throwing shotgun shells and beer bottles down might not be seen as disrespectful. I'm not sure where those people were raised or by whom. Oh, look, there's a little back door with a horseshoe nailed over the top for good luck. Nice chimney, should be a good fireplace in there. Okay, enough beating around the bush. Let's go inside this little cabin and see if there's anything cool in here. Okay, well, the first thing I notice upon approaching is, well, there's a lot of stickers all over. Look at that. Billy D's Adventures on YouTube. Anybody watch Billy D's Adventures? And then we've got the Skull Crushers, the Dirty Cooler Crew, Till Death Duel Us Sport. I'm not really surprised by any of that because we are in a part of the desert that's extraordinarily popular with off-roaders, dirt bikers, side-by-siders, jeepers, and well, I guess even forerunners. Anyway, let's see what's in this cabin. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is actually really cool. It's one big room. There's that big fireplace I knew we were going to find. Oh, there's that back door. So that's the door that had the horseshoe over it. Gotta undo this big latch. Oh yeah, but there is another room. Look, this is like a back, I guess it's just kind of like a little storage room. There's nothing in here. But at one time, you know, the guy who built this, Wells, old man Wells, must have used this as some kind of little storage room. Real tiny little room, though. And then it's interesting because there's a window in this tiny little room. But anyway, back into the main room of the house. I got distracted. Like I was saying, it's just one big room, big fireplace. You could actually warm this up pretty nicely if you had to stay in here overnight. It's not really in the kind of condition that I would want to stay in it. I mean, it's pretty trash. There's a lot of garbage on the floor. There is a brand new bundle of hot wood in the fireplace, so that's cool. Somebody left that. But I don't know, man. It would take a ton of cleaning to make this place even semi-habitable. But I suppose to that end, somebody thoughtfully left a vacuum cleaner behind. Not sure what good it would do you unless you had a real big generator to power it, but I guess it's the thought that counts. Okay, aside from the vacuum cleaner, we also have a table and one lonely little chair. There's a tiny little barbecue grill inside, inexplicably. And then there's a counter over on this side with a paper towel dispenser, but no paper towels. There's no supplies laid in whatsoever. I mean, some idiot left some empty Modelo cans. I wouldn't do you much good. Hold on, there is a can of soup. Oh, and it's full. So my bad, let me retract that. There is a supply laid in. And if you were starving and stuck out here in the desert, that can of Wolfgang Puck tomato basil bisque might be the only thing keeping you from death. Oh, what's this? Keith Frazier, 1948 to 2020. Oh, is this like his ashes or something? Oh, it's empty, but gosh, what a strange way to commemorate somebody. A little mysterious bottle with their name on it left in this creepy old cabin. Oh, there's two of them. Look at that. I wonder, golly, I wonder what that's all about. Oh, and there's a can opener even for the soup. So if you needed to eat that soup to stay alive, you could open the can. Oh, look, there's another Keith Frazier bottle. I don't know if he was trying to start his own line of liquor minis or what. There's a dirt bike helmet somebody left up there. That, I suppose, could come in pretty handy. A dustpan, yeah, you could use that to sort of to clean up. But golly, I mean, like I was saying, everything in here is just trash, man. There's garbage everywhere. It's frankly pretty gross and pretty sad. I mean, oh, well, there's some bowls here. I'll go ahead and put the bowls up there by the soup. You know, I like to keep things tidy in these cabins. Oh my goodness, and look here. It's like a bag with some really funky soiled bedding in it. But that's pretty much all there is in here in the way of supplies and infrastructure. Oh, there's another table back here. So 2 tables, 1 chair. Not really sure how far that would get you in life, but you know, like I said, if you had to take shelter in here and try to, you know, withstand a storm, you'd be glad to have it. And then there's a really nice, huge, solid bench in front of this front window, which if I did have to spend the night in this cabin, that's where I would sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not laying my sleeping bag down on this filthy floor, even if I did sweep it clean and had this old Cabela's polar cap equalizer cooler box to lay on. Nuh-uh, I'm going on this bench here. I'd lay my sleeping pad and my sleeping bag out right there. Yeah, it's by the window. You'd be kind of chilly, but hey, at least you'd have fresh air. Okay, well, since there isn't very much in here in the way of infrastructure, we might as well just look around at all the weird stickers and graffiti, because there is a lot of both. A lot of beer cans hanging from the ceiling, too. Beer, seltzer cans, tucked into Copenhagen chaw cans. Real high class of people that come to this cabin. Oh, let's see, who do we have here? Ellis Fence Company. I'mTheVet.com, where we need each other to survive. Longhorn Electric from Barstow. Basically, it looks like a bunch of high desert folk like to come out here, ride their off-road vehicles, hang out in here, drink a few beers, and then throw their cans on the ground. Oh, and shoot some shotgun rounds off and leave them shells here too. Like I said, respect means different things to different people. Okay, well, there's also a lot of graffiti on these window coverings, especially. I don't know why all the windows are covered up, but they are. They're covered up real good, and they're even, the cracks are filled with that great stuff. Oh, look. Somebody drew a real pretty long arm. See, these front windows look like they're meant to sort of swing open if you want. There's like hinges on it. I guess if I opened this, then it'll swing open. Oh, no. Well, let me see outside. Oh, this thing's in the way. So what you have to do, I guess, is lift this pole up. Oh, look. And then it comes down like that. And now you've got yourself a little outdoor table. That's actually a super cool design. How about that? Looks like this other window here was the same design until some yahoo ripped it off. You know how people do, they get drunk and, well, maybe there was a big brawl in here and somebody got pushed back and knocked it off, and it happened by mistake. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that one open so I have a little bit more light in here. Although I was gonna look at the graffiti on it, but it doesn't look like there's really anything good. You know, it's just dumb stuff, people's names. I mean, I don't mean to say Crazy John and Kelly are dumb. I'm sure they had a real nice time when they were out here, and who knows? Maybe Crazy John Jr. was conceived right here in this very cabin. Who can say? Okay, now over here in the kitchen area, below the pantry, there are some more names. Let's see what this says. Life goes, and there's an apostrophe and goes, by us fast. So kick it down a gear and enjoy the ride. Oh, look at this. Isn't this what they used to call a church key? A real old thing for opening beers back in the day? I feel like I've heard about something like that, and I don't know. I mean, to me, this looks like something you use to open a paint can, but I can't imagine why they would have a paint can opener in here. This is cool. It says, Happy Trails. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Remember that from Roy Rogers? Okay, let's have a look at this trail register, such as it is. Who's the last person that was here? January 20th. Today's the 25th, so just 5 days ago. Corey, Morgan, and Lori. Oh, Corey and Lori. Okay, well, here's another book, and it's got some pretty cool stuff in it. We come here often. Please take care of this little place. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Carla Baca and Carlos Ramirez. See, these are people that are cool. Like, I'm sure they're not the ones leaving the beer cans here. It's all these other yahoos that come up here to party. Ruin it for everybody else. Golly, lots of people have been coming here over the years. I mean, this book is full. I mean, look at this. This was not that long ago, April 2020. Escolo family had a blast here with the Fortenberry family. We loved the fireplace, the cabin itself. We had a total of 17 people here, roasted marshmallows in the fireplace. Golly, I don't even know if I'd want to hang out by the fireplace in here. I mean, I suppose all you'd have to do, and if you've watched some of my videos, you know I'll stay in some pretty raunchy places. I'm thinking of this one shack in particular when I was backpacking one time and it was raining and I just wanted to get out of the rain. There was a filthy little shack that my friend Widget and I cleaned out. And matter of fact, I think all I had to help me was there was a rake, a metal rake, kind of like this in that shack. And so we just raked all the trash out. And there was even a used maxi pad in that one. And I did sleep inside that shack, but I was in a tent inside the shack. I didn't just lay my bedroll out right on the floor. But if I was going to spend the night in here, if I had to, well, gosh, I guess first thing I would do is rake. I'd take that rake and I'd rake all this garbage up into a big old pile. Matter of fact, there's some empty trash bags over here. I'd try to bag it all up, crush whatever cans I could, put all the trash outside. Then I guess I would unroll that unspeakably foul blanket and spread that out on the bench over here under the window. I'd light me a big old fire in that fireplace with that hot wood, which hot wood burns fast, so the fire wouldn't last very long. And it doesn't look like there's no trees or anything in this area, so scavenging for firewood wouldn't really do you much good. But anyway, it wouldn't be a very comfortable night, but I suppose, well, hold on a minute. After I made my dinner of this lonely can of soup, which I would heat up in the fire using the can opener, and then I could pour it in one of them bowls. I'd eat my thing of soup or drink my thing of soup, and then I'd lay down there, and I suppose I would survive the night. Thankfully, I don't have to do that because I have a nice cozy bed in my rig, and I'm planning to go find a nice peaceful place to camp tonight rather than have to take shelter in this funky old cabin. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and close the cabin back up. Push this thing back like that. Stick it there. That is a cool design. And then back inside, I got to put these little hooks through the loops to hold it in place. 1 and 2. And then I guess I better close this door. I mean, I guess it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference considering this whole window is blown off, but I want to do whatever I can to keep this place from getting even more filthy. Okay, before I leave this lonely little cabin, there's a couple other things that look pretty interesting here. First, there's a giant fire pit if you wanted to camp out by the cabin. That could be kind of cool. Secondly, and thirdly, there's a couple of really old, completely destroyed cars. This is a later model car. To me, it looks like a Prius or something. And it looks like it was set on fire. Oh my goodness. Holy cannoli, what do you suppose happened? You think it was a stolen car? Somebody brought it out here and burned it? Oh, well, hold on a minute. Yeah, I can see there on the back, it had an oval. It was a Ford of some sort. So it definitely wasn't a Prius. It was a Ford Focus or something. I don't know. It has that lame aerodynamic blobby shape that all cars have nowadays. Not like the good old days when cars were cars and angles were right. None of this blobby aerodynamic nonsense. Although this one over here, this looks a little bit older. What do you guys think this was? Again, it's burned, or it's been burned. I mean, what's the thinking here? Like, hey, y'all, let's ride our dirt bikes down to the old stone cabin and burn some cars tonight. Is that what people do for fun around these parts? Apparently so. because this car has been not only torched but also riddled with bullet holes. Oh golly, what do you suppose that was? That looks a little bit older, but still not that old. It's a big car. Matter of fact, speaking of cars, I'm gonna get back in my car and continue on my way. It is getting kind of late. It's winter. It's probably already 4 o'clock, which means it'll be dark in about an hour and a half, and I'd better find a nice place to camp tonight where nobody creeps up on me and sets my car on fire. But here's one last look at the old lonely stone cabin homestead before we leave, and you're gonna have to really use your imagination on this one. But if you can imagine what it would have been like living in this cabin when all the windows were fixed up, you know, everything was sealed up properly, and there was a roaring fire burning in the fireplace, and there was actual furniture in here and not just garbage strewn about everywhere and business cards and beer cans. And you were tucked away in this cozy little desert valley, which, you know, right now it's winter, but, you know, come spring, there's probably all kind of little flowers that come out in this scrubby brush, and these creosote bushes bloom, and well, I'll bet this was a pretty nice place to live. And I don't know about you, but I thought it was still a pretty nice place to visit. I'm just glad I'm not spending the night in it.